is the Writer's Almanac for Wednesday. It's the 9th of March, 2022. 1913 on this day, Virginia Woolf delivered the manuscript for her first novel, The Voyage Out, to the Duckworth Publishing House in London. She had been working on it for almost 7 years. By 1912, she had written 5 drafts of the novel, including 2 different versions that she worked on simultaneously. And then she rewrote the entire novel one more time, almost from scratch, 600 typewritten pages. Came out in 1915, got good reviews, but it sold slowly. It took about 15 years to sell 2,000 copies. One of its characters was Clarissa Dalloway, who would stick in Virginia Woolf's mind for more than 10 years, and then she wrote an entire novel about that woman. Mrs. Dalloway came out in 1927. It was on this day, 1933, that President Franklin D. Roosevelt, newly inaugurated, called a special session of Congress and began the first 100 days of enacting New Deal legislation. Bills passed almost daily, beginning with the Emergency Banking Act, the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, the Civilian Conservation Corps, the Public Works Administration, the Tennessee Valley Authority, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the Federal Writers Project, which employed over 6,000 out-of-work writers, including John Cheever, Saul Bellow, Richard Wright, Studs Terkel, Ralph Ellison, paid them about $20 a week to work on the American Guides series, an American guide for each of the states. It's the birthday of Vita Sackville-West in Sevenoaks in Kent, England, 1892, born to luxury in an enormous mansion. Before her 19th birthday, she'd written 8 novels and 5 plays. When she was 21, she married Harold George Nicholson, a diplomat, and the two of them, both bisexual, had what has come to be known as an open marriage. They enjoyed a very close, companionable relationship and wrote each other frequent and affectionate letters whenever they were apart, even as they took other lovers. In 1922, she wrote to her husband about her meeting with Virginia Woolf and said, "I have quite lost my heart." Vita Sackville-West was the inspiration for Virginia Woolf's novel Orlando. It was on this day in 1997 that Jean-Dominique-Bauby died of pneumonia, a French journalist who at the age of 43 suffered a massive stroke and awoke 3 weeks later to find himself a victim of locked-in syndrome. His mind intact, but he was almost entirely paralyzed except for his left eyelid. He spent his final year and a half in a hospital room where he wrote a book, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, a memoir of life in death. He died 2 days after it was published. In 2007, the memoir was made into a movie directed by Julian Schnabel. Here's a poem for today by Lewis Nelson. Life is a struggle. Life is a struggle in the jungle. If you don't believe me, ask your uncle. One day's good, the next may be terrible, like a dark, surrealist parable. But thanks to ignorance, we march on today, awaiting tomorrow's dawn. The sun sets, the stars appear, we sit outside, enjoy a beer. Day by day we do our best, do our work, get our rest, enjoy each other and be kind, leave sorrow and regret behind. This rocky cliff we too can climb, one rock, one foothold at a time. A poem by Lewis Nelson, Life is a Struggle, used by permission of the poet here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.